So yeah, who wants to go first?
How about James?
Go first.
You want to go?
Yeah, I can do it. All right. So for me this week, I've got my third round of the interview next week on Monday at 5:30 my time. And so I'm building, so I'm literally, this is my little app, and you can add someone. It's already been taken. And then you can delete someone, edit someone, make them admin. And this is the basic functionality. And then this is the code, yeah? And this won't make sense, but I can show you what the terminal. So for example, it's a system test. So let's copy. So this is the job. Literally, I'm making this code to make this bot do this thing. See if it works. See how it pops up, and it does a bunch of things. So it acts like a user, and it's like, so it's adding an employee, it's adding the picture, submitting it, doing a bunch of other tests. And so the idea is with these tests, if you change something, say I remove this button, you would know that it's missing before you push it to a live mode. So then a user wouldn't tell you, basically. 5 tests, 9 assertions, and everything passed. So that's what I've been working on.
And this is which program? This is for the app for...
So this is for the job
accountability?
Interview.
Huh?
No, so this is for the job interview. But what I'm doing is switching this out. So once the interview's over, I'm just creating like a branch, and this is going to be like our accountability app. So it's the same, because everything's the same. Yeah, you need to log in, log out. The basic functionality is there. And this is organizing the people into, like, that's all of them. But essentially, you'll select like I'm in business and I've got this time, and it'll put you into groups. So that's my win. I'm still making it. So I've done like the desktop tests, and now I've got to do the mobile tests. And that's what I'm going to do this week. My last meetup, 2 people showed up, so I doubled my number. So yeah, that was cool. And these 2 are actually keen. So one's wanting to start a business in Ayurveda, which is a Indian health, if you don't know, it's a health thing, health science. And then the other one's like a coach as well. So they seem like they'll keep showing up, which is good. So I've got 2 people that are going to be regulars at least.
What was the second one? A coach is what?
So kind of a health coach. She's done the Mind Belly. She's doing a Mind Belly certification.
I didn't know they did certification.
Okay. Did I? That's what she told me. It's like, okay.
All right.
Yeah. So, and she's also certified to teach. Part of that is certified to teach the Silver method. And so that's that. And then another person reached out and wants me to be the director of digital for their thing. They run a health business kind of thing, and they want me to do the digital side of it for them. We'll see how that goes, but that's interesting.
I think that's so interesting that you managed. I don't know if it was intentional or you did a reach out through Mind Valley, but I find it so interesting that someone who is certified in Silva came to your group.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting.
You're doing it.
I didn't reach out. I just had the group, and she's like, "Oh, I can't believe you made something like this. I wanted to join." So, and a big indicator if people are going to show, they actually write you. So everyone that has shown up has actually written me. They're not going to. So they go, "Oh yeah, I'm going to show up," and then they say they're not. They actually write you. Versus everyone that hasn't showed up is basically just being dead quiet. So even if I've got 10 people, 2 people have written me, they're the ones that'll show up. So that's, the goal is to get it to this size, 5. Got a couple more to go. But I was also thinking of doing another one because we're going to Lisbon. So I want to see if I can create a group in Lisbon. So when I go to Lisbon, it's like I'm actually going to meet someone. That's the theory, because that's with this group, they're all in my local location. So if you want to meet up, you actually can. And they're even like, so the health coach is like, hey, I want to refer people to the Ayurvedic health thing because it's part of her system. So there's already gelling, which is cool. Yeah. So that was basically my week.
So you have to, for this third interview, you have to show your goods, something you created.
Yeah. So like this thing I just shared, that's the thing I have to create. And then a developer is going to come in and review my code, and talk about it. And if they approve, then I guess I'll get it. So it's looking positive. So there's only 2 people at the time that had that. So there's probably going to be more by the time they get around. Yeah, they're looking for a senior. So there's like 3 juniors and 1 senior. So literally they're like, there's a big shortage in tech, like hiring for these type of skills at the moment. Like 60% of SaaS companies can't find talented developers because A, you're not talented enough, or B, there's just too many people pulling the good people away, basically. So they can't get enough actual decent people to do the work, which is a huge thing, because that's essentially the future. Like the other side of it is we're going more tech. So yeah, it's a good field to get into, that's for sure.
I just want to share something off of that. When you said SaaS, years ago, when I was coaching, but I don't remember if I still had my acting studio. Anyway, a woman came to me. They had a big convention in San Francisco, and she was the master of ceremonies with a big green screen and a whole big production. She came to me and she said, help. So I got to help her, for the acting part, not to act, but really to, get her confidence and solid and presentation. She used to present all the time, but not to 5,000 people from all over the world. And it went splendidly. And then she actually then became my coaching client. But every time I hear SaaS, I go, oh.
And then the other thing was with Charlotte, we did the testimony videos, which was cool. So the VA managed to get everything up and running and done well. So that was a good little win. That was his first kind of outside gig. And yeah, I believe it went well. So
it went fantastic. It's when you texted me to say, oh, he's asking if you want an introduction. And I thought, introduction? I don't know. And I said, I don't know Canva. I don't even know how to make a slide. I said, I just need, the person's name and blah, blah, blah. Sure, that sounds good, if he wants to do that. And then I was so delighted, guys. If you go to my website, you'll see in testimonials, it's Mindy's, both of hers. He did this whole montage. He pulled, stuff out of the video into this introduction with music. I was like blown away. I was so excited. So yeah, it was wonderful.
And that's like no direction from me. Like I can't do that.
Wow. Fabulous. Okay. Yeah, I was delighted, and I was so grateful. Thank you, because it makes it, it gives it an upgrade. It
makes it more your brand, more like unique. Now he's like, I'm developing a YouTube channel, so I've got the VAs developing, learning how to make a YouTube channel from the videos we've been doing to see if we can find any more people. That's their project, and I'm trying to get them to work together. So they keep asking me questions, and I'm like, look, you can Google or you can ask in this in this channel, and whoever's there can answer. You can work between. No, it doesn't have to just be me. Like I can help, but I also want you two to work together. Yeah, that's me. Good little week. Who's next?
Yeah, I can go if you want. So my website is launched. It's done. Yay. So yeah, my 90-day challenge is finished 7 months later, but it's done. And I'm just so grateful and very pleased with the way it turned out. And now we'll see. I mean, it looks pretty. The point is it has to help convert. So we'll see how that goes.
Stage
and then
2, yeah.
Yeah.
Stage 2.
And then there's
you've got it up. That's most important.
Yeah. And then there's all the marketing then that goes with that to drive people, to be curious enough, just whatever, that whole sequence. I have this Saturday. So I have a speech that I have not yet written for Saturday. It's a 5 to 7 minute speech. So, but I am going to do it around, I mentioned this last week, around resistance and urgency. One of the things I've been fully aware of, as I say, I am the queen of resistance on so many things. It's terrible. It's terrible because it puts me at a snail's pace on a lot of things. And I know that a lot of it is a lot of it is fear-based. But as I said last week, that switch in my brain from Steve Pressfield when he said from amateur to pro. I mean, the pro just downloaded in me and I went, oh yeah, I'm ready to be pro. Like, take my business seriously. I want a business, not a hobby. And back to the speech. So I want to talk about that. I don't mind being vulnerable. Will show up vulnerable, but because I'm also, it's also a great way for mentioning my new website so that the attendees will, if they're curious enough, they'll go look at the website. So it's like since my whole specialty is around fear, and I'm such a great example. I did work through it, but it's like, how vulnerable do I want to be on that story? So resistance started showing up around that. Well, do I really want to say how difficult it was for me to break through? And urgency was key for it getting wrapped up fast at the end. I mean, everything was already there. So it's not, if I didn't have all that was done, I wouldn't have been able on any level to put the website up yet. But the urgency is a big thing with me. And I guess I'm also sharing and formulating, but the thing about going from amateur to pro, if you're an amateur in your mindset, it's like, there's no hurry, there's no rush, it's another day and, I'll get to it. As opposed to pro, it's like, oh no, it's every day. And there is urgency. It has a built-in urgency, which I'm so thrilled about because I've known for a long time that's missing for me. So now I have the urgency to write this speech and get it prepared.
So from pro to amateur, so switching to pro is a mindset shift. Like now now I'm pro, now I have to work on it because I'm serious about it. Whereas an amateur, the attitude is like, mañana. Yeah. On that, I'm wondering, just a thought. So you said, I want a business, not a hobby. Yes. So in the app that I'm building, essentially, if we had that as in, I want a business, not a hobby, and you click on it and it basically had all the steps lined out that you needed to do to take you from a hobbyist to having a business, would that be useful?
I'm not sure, because are you talking about individuals, like your app would address the individual, or would it be a generic, this is what you need to go from amateur to pro, the steps that you're talking about? You could
do both, but essentially coach, like put it in a niche, coach. Like to be a coach, you could like follow these steps to go from amateur to pro. And it's like every week you got to do this thing. And I don't know, like something like, build a website, go through this process to build a website. Next 90 days, do this thing, then next 90 days.
Well, that's like a build a business blueprint, as opposed to the mindset shift. Because I know the blueprint and I've known the blueprint for a long time, but it's been, let's study a little bit more about that. Oh, that's nice. Let's put that on the shelf. And now, that looks interesting. Let's go do that. So no, is the answer. I personally don't see it, because I see that as something else. The going from amateur to pro is literally an internal shift. It's not cerebral as much as it is internal. I got it in the gut. I want to be pro. And I get, this idea, I'm just going to work so many hours a week. I'll work whatever it takes to have the business that I desire. And that's a shift.
Yeah, how did you get the shift? When I
was listening to Steve Pressfield, and also because I was in the process of realizing I had the urgency to finish the website because of the free marketing I was getting as practitioner of the month. It's like, I need that now. I've been working. I've got to have it now. I want it now. And when I listened to him say that, it was like, oh yeah, this is a whole thing. This is not just for this month. Yeah, so I don't know how to break it down for you.
That's the thing to ponder, kind of how, because you've managed to shift, and I'm seeing like a lot of people having that. So what is the steps that can get them from there to there? That's the formula. Hey, on this 90-day plan, I want you to break through and be amateur to pro, how do we, because it's mindset based essentially, how do we get someone's mindset? What do they actually have to do each week to change their mindset? How do you get them in that? I mean, part of it is
don't
actually
forget, I do hypnosis, so it would be it would be working with the subconscious mind, because that's what it was. It's a conflict, and that's what resistance is. It's like I have a passion, I have a desire to create whatever, my business, what I do, but I have resistance to do not only the work, the consistent work to do it. It's consistency, because I've been like, that's part of my resistance has been consistent. Oh no, let's go do something else tomorrow or today. So getting aligned with the subconscious is important. And for whatever reason, just that, I think it was the perfect storm, the urgency, after all the work that I had put into that site, and going, no, now, pull the trigger. You've got to get this done now. And then realizing, well, why do I have to get it done? Why is it important? Yeah, I've been saying I want a website to refer people to. Well, yeah, I want a business and I want to be a pro. After it, just hearing him, it clicked.
You want to, yeah, and exactly. You were after, so you shifted. What I seen just then is like, you wanted a website. That wasn't the thing that was driving you. That's like something you felt you have to have. But to be a pro has a website. So you change your focus from the website to actually being a pro, and that helped actually make the website.
Well, that's part of it, yeah. And then the element of urgency is very key. Yeah. And with a pro mindset, there is an urgency, because you want to put what you're creating out there. You want to create it. You want it, solidified. Whereas an amateur, it's like you can go, sit by the river and daydream and like, oh yeah, I can do that. I can do this. And one day I'll do it. And there's no urgency at all.
Having the conversation, it's interesting to see what makes how you got there. Yeah. Like
mindset is definitely, it's an internal shift, and you can get to an internal shift by external actions, like something can click, but it's not a guarantee. You need the inside stuff is what drives you. So so this speech, now I have the urgency for the speech. What I was saying is like, how vulnerable do I want to be? Because this was really dragging my feet, hollering and screaming to get that website done. I do want to definitely touch on that.
You want to, in my opinion, you want to make them feel like emotion. And then that's enough. You want to share enough to make them feel the emotion, essentially. So whatever amount that is, then that's the right amount.
That makes, yeah.
And you could even gauge it from the audience, like that would, maybe you've gone too far, too little. You could tell from their feedback, essentially.
And then I posted on my I don't know how to tag people, like, so that other people don't see the tags, but I want to tag like certain people with the announcement about my website. And I need to do that today and get into these other platforms I'm a member of and, put the word out.
Who's next?
I can go next. I did not have too much of an update as such. So the thing is that last week I had to, so the exam I cleared, and then I was supposed to be in Bangalore where the exam was for a few more days. But unfortunately, actually at my place, my aunt passed away suddenly. And it's been really tough for me. And that led to a lot of other family issues, because we live in a joint family. So emotionally, it's been really tough on me. And I'm still kind of trying to process everything that has happened. That is there. And on my personal goals front, I still try to do some things for my goals. And for that, I applied for the enrolled agent exam. Once you clear it, you have to apply, and then you get a license number, and then you are eligible to practice legally. So I did that, and I worked on my CV a little bit. And I have also been shortlisting some job opportunities. So currently the job opportunities that I'm looking for is still in line with what experience I have already have with ENY for 8 years. So I am at least shortlisting that for the moment. And I haven't gotten an opportunity to speak to my lawyer. So I think I am going to speak to him today or tomorrow and get a view of uh, what practical opportunities are available there, or what should be my approach. Is it better like I get into a job here in India and then make a shift? Will that be an easier route? Because right now, actually, visas are a lot more of an issue anywhere, especially in the US. So just trying to figure out which country will be, easier to get into. And then maybe from there, I can make a shift a little bit more easily than, just aiming to get outside India right away. So that's been there right now. So honestly, not too much of progress on the work front or any of my personal goals, honestly. So from tomorrow onwards, today onwards, I have started working on these things a little bit. I've started taking up a little bit of the work that I was doing with the lawyer as well, so that I can get back into the groove of working. Like I was dedicatedly only studying and not working at all. So I was thinking that once I am back into work mode with the lawyer, and I can be a little bit more seriously involved now that the exam is out of the way, just looking for jobs and working with him. And I believe that now, if I'm more seriously involved, I'll be able to network better because he moves around the big fours itself. So hopefully, I will be able to, build that kind of a network and get an opportunity here, a better opportunity. Hopefully, that will work out. But right now, I am not at all clear. I mean, just this much is what I know, but exactly where I will land up is something that I'm not at all clear about. I think I'm going to take this next week to work on that. That's about it. So actually, I'm so sorry. Like I'm so low on energy only because of this thing that has happened at my place. It's been really unfortunate. I had to fly out like suddenly out of the city, like within a day. Like morning, I was preparing like what I'm going to do in the next week, and I got this news, and I had to just take the very same day late night flight, and I had to come back home. So I think I will have to be at home for some time because my mom is also like going through a lot emotionally. So I need to be there with her. And for me also, I think I need some space to process everything.
Sorry to hear about your aunt. Was it your mother's sister?
No, so she was actually my dad's brother's wife, own brother's wife. So we used to live in the same household. Like I have grown up around her all this while. And actually I've been thinking like in last 5 months that I've been away from home, 6 months that I've been away from home, I've been just losing people who are close to me, like my brother's best friend. Like I was close to him as well. My sister-in-law's brother, he was also a very good friend of my brother. So he used to keep visiting our place. Then a colleague of mine, like I've been just dealing with these kind of things. And this one is like I've lived with her for like last whatever time since I've born. Like so it's been really, really tough. And more so like I can still manage myself, that is okay, but it's more for my mom because like mom and my aunt, they were quite close that ways and they used to, work together and be together, share stuff. So for her it's a lot more difficult.
Because you're a different culture and because everybody grieves differently. When you're saying you want to be there for your mom, what does that mean for you?
I think the grief of the person not being around anymore is definitely there. But for her, it is also the fear of how will she manage everything alone? Because we are a big household, like we are like 11 members, now 10. So for us, it's like, how is she going to manage everything? Like my mom and my aunt, they both were housewives, so they used to manage everything together, the teamwork, and then of course the emotional thing, like 24/7 you are with a person and then that person is not around anymore. That's a lot. So for me it's just like being just sitting next to her and let her say whatever comes to her mind and just listen to it, because I feel like she needs to express and someone needs to be there to listen to her. So it's been 12 days that she's passed away. And now, like, everyone needs to get back to work. And, like, I'm the only one who is going to be at home.
I also would like you to do something for yourself, and that's just to be aware of your reactions so that, because you are a very kind-hearted, empathetic person, which is great as long as it's in balance. And sometimes space of your own doesn't mean a physical space of your own.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
just not taking things on. So if they're having trouble with things, you can listen, you can be empathetic, but you don't need to solve things. And sometimes that's all the space you need, is not taking on other people's things so that your world doesn't become smaller because you're fixing for everybody else. Are you still traveling to London?
No.
Wasn't it London? No.
Yeah. So we both were only traveling to Europe for a Europe trip, but that's not going to happen actually, because she also has some of her own family problems to deal with now. Suddenly, like, we both got stuck in our respective family problems at the same time. So we decided to push it. We'll see when we can travel next. But I'll see, like, if things get better, like, I do want to travel still. So if not Europe, somewhere around here itself, I'm fine with that as well. But I do feel that need of, traveling and some change.
Do you have a target date for when you need's not quite the right word because now you're living at home again, but when it would be best for you to have a job so that you can move forward in your life? Do you have a target date for that?
Honestly, I need a job ASAP. I mean, I would want to get back to work within this year, not even till December. I want it by, like, next month end maximum, not beyond that. Whatever I get right now, I'm going to, not like just anything. Of course, something that of my liking as well, do not want to compromise on that. And I know I can get it. I just need to make some efforts, but I don't want to, just settle for things that I've been already doing. I still want to try for something different from what I was doing. So if that happens fast, then okay. If not, then whatever comes my way, I'm going to take it for the time being, get back into the work mode, and then try to switch. That is little more easier than, just waiting for the right thing all the time, I feel. And now I need to be a little bit more, just financially independent. So that's a big thing for me right now.
Shaily, what is your ultimate goal? Is it to work in another country?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Do you know what country you want to work in?
The first choice of country is the US, because that's what I have studied. So that's, like, the best place to be. And for me, like, further studies as well is something that I have on mind later, not right away. But if I'm there, that makes it a lot more easier.
Are there American companies where you live, or are you working remotely, or how does...
Yeah, so right now, actually, I'm not really working full time anywhere, right? So it's kind of remotely only. So the client base, everything is in India itself. And American based companies are all consultancy firms only, where I can find my place, like EY, PwC, or Deloitte. These are the companies where I can work. There are other companies as well, like Amazon and all as well, but that's a little difficult to get through. But I'm going to try everywhere. I have a lot to prepare. So that's what, like, I know, like, nowadays it's like not like you prepare one CV and send it everywhere and it works. It doesn't work that way now. So I have to kind of customize my CV for every job. I have to customize my cover letter for every job. And I know that outside India, they take cover letter seriously. Sorry?
Are you able, I would focus also on networking, because there's a lot about who, that's how you'll get a job. So if you can join lawyer groups or people just that may know people that, like, they may be able to get you a job quicker without all the applying, because they're like, I like you, she's good, and they can recommend you. That'll get you.
Yeah, that's right. So that's what, like, I'm back on LinkedIn as well. So when now I will start looking through jobs, I will try to get in touch with the hiring managers directly or through someone whom I know, Yeah, that's right. Like references work way faster than just, randomly applying. Nobody looks at it like unless
Exactly.
and
'Cause they're
until
the
they
ones
are.
that ask them.
Yeah, exactly. That's what. So, yeah, so that can happen actually only after I speak to the lawyer because he has really great connects in India as well in the US. So now I'm going to start working on that. That's about it. So for me, the next week will be a little bit focusing on myself, my emotional state, even physically. I'm going to start going to gym from tomorrow itself. So I think that's the big part of me. Like if I don't do it, I feel really out of place. So I think that will help me get back my focus a little bit faster. So those are the two things right now. And other than that, of course, like just applying for jobs, networking. There's no specific destination for the next week, but at least I will be able to tell you guys like these are the places I have applied and what's the next move I've made around
So
this
you can do a
topic.
number, for example, how many are you going to apply for? 5, 10, pick a number and see if you can hit it.
Yeah, I think I can apply for at least 15, 10 to 15. I've already shortlisted more than that, but I'll stick to 15.
Would it make sense, since you said there's an urgency for financial, would it make sense to, unless you absolutely don't want to work for him, to contract for a short term while you're looking for other positions?
Yeah, so actually that's like the last option I have. I have not closed that option at all. But I think in the next couple of weeks I will have a fair idea of where I am in the job market, like practically how good it looks like I'll get an opportunity. In fact, I was in fact also thinking that if that be the case, I will be okay with working with this lawyer officially part time because right now I'm kind of freelancing and I'm not getting paid and I'm actually not taking any payments for it because it's like with him it's like a mentor mentee kind of a relationship, so I have not kept money in between because it kinds of it's like my time is his and I lose my freedom as well. But now that my exam is done, I will see if that can be arranged as well now officially. So if
Yeah,
that is
I
done,
would change that, definitely.
I know. I think I took Tom's advice of uh, if you see the person living the life you want to live, then work along with that person, even if it's for free. So I think I took it a little bit too seriously. But
No, it's good. It's good. It's good to a point, but at some point
yeah,
you need to start
yeah,
earning and getting
yeah,
paid, and you're kind of at that junction. You're like, it serves its purpose. Now let's
yeah,
take the next step.
yeah, exactly. So now that's where I'm gonna take it.
I was going to say, when you get, if you aren't already, if you get very clear really what you're looking for, like the company you want to work for, if you actually know a firm or whatever, or it's like you mentioned a few firms, when you do the networking that somebody suggested, it's like, just let people know. And it doesn't have to be in your business. It's like just your friends, conversation, people you're talking. You just put that intention out there and you give them a clear picture of what you want. And you may be surprised because you don't know who knows who knows who.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
put it out there.
Yeah, that's a good idea, actually.
Yeah, it's how I broke into the entertainment industry behind the scenes. It's like I had determined I wanted to do something in particular there. And I knew what I wanted and I started talking, and the opportunity came from a surprise angle. It's just because of that. And so it works. Or it can work.
Frequently, it's not the people in your close circle that help you because you know the same people they know. So it's the people in the second circle and the third circle because their circle of friends are almost completely different. And so don't rely on people close to you. They have less opportunity than someone who doesn't know you a whole lot because their circle of friends are so different.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Honestly, like I will tell you guys honestly, like I feel like I still have that resistance of talking to new people. Like just the idea of on LinkedIn is the place like where I connect with people as such. Like there are a lot of connects, but just this idea of reaching out to someone randomly like that is still a little like I get nervous. like, how will that person perceive me? Or like, am I writing the right thing? Will this be impressive? Because, like just the first line itself. And like right now, there's so much of things out there. Like you have to be a little quirky, not so traditional in the way you approach people. Like if you write a hi, it's so boring. You have to be innovative in the way you talk. And I am not. I find it really difficult to, like, once I start talking to a person, I can make a lot of conversations, but the start is, for me, is always kind of like that. So I really struggle on that side, like how to make it interesting from the get-go, that the person becomes interested in me. And another challenge is like reaching out to someone through LinkedIn like that, or any other platform, or writing in the first instance. Then it's like, am I being too informal? Am I being formal? Like, does this sound informal? Like I try to, like, as I'm writing, I am like speaking those words in my mind, and I'm like, oh my god, a person can take it in this way as well, and it will sound like I am being really, arrogant or something like that. So I feel like that becomes a really challenging thing for me. Like, am I overthinking it? Definitely I am, I think. But like that's where my time goes in writing something. Like I think so much, like it needs to be kind of perfect, and it is not, I feel, all the time.
You mentioned about, I think I need to be quirky. I need to be this. I need to be blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And it's called resistance. but that aside, drop all that and just be you. And with the clarity of what you want, if you know the kind of firm you want or whatever, just have that vision in front of you when you're writing to the people. And also, obviously, whoever you choose, if you're doing it off of LinkedIn, be interested in them. I mean, there's a reason you're reaching out to them. But drop all that crap.
LinkedIn, you can research them. They've got all their information. It's like, hey, I seen you went to such and such school. My friend went there. Like, see if you can find something in common from the get-go.
Yeah.
And also, like, don't write too big a message at the start. Just see if they're open to like a response. Is like some people, like, if someone reaches out to you and like there's a wall of text, it's like, I way too much.
I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and he has and, but, therefore formula that can be as short as 15 seconds, 30 seconds, or 15 minutes. And it starts off, you talk to their aspiration. You don't start with a problem, because some people, they'll block you. Like they don't want to hear more of their problem. They're trying to avoid it. So you start with where you take them where they want to be. I'll send the link after which one. It's Park Howell. Howell, and the one I heard was on Social Examiner. But you start off saying something where they want to be. So you want to ride a horse and the blah 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 blah, and you want to feel confident when you do it. There's the and, but you can be injured. Therefore, hiring somebody who's already got people from A to B is your shortest way to success. Because you don't have to be that formulaic, but start with where they want to be if you're introducing yourself, and add an emotion, but the problem, therefore your solution. Then you take months, then weeks, then days. He wants to get it to be so short, he can think about it, let the emotions flow through, and you won't even realize it's happening.
Actually, just objectively analyzing, like, just questioning. I think there needs to be a lot more questioning of what I'm saying, and then just question whether that's really needed.
When you said about process, we were talking about the processing and whatever that last thing about questions, that's what it was. You said, I have to ask questions, blah, blah, blah. Maybe I should ask more questions. But it sounds to me when you say that you're looking for the intention. Is that true?
Yeah.
Like if you're peeling away the extraneous words to get down to what you want to say, did I understand you correctly? Or maybe not.
Yeah, that, as well as, just getting to know what I'm saying I need, whether I actually need it.
It sounds to me like that's you getting clear on the intention of what you're going to be speaking.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's great. So so that it's important. And when you're intentional, when you get clarity on that it'll make your conversation, whether written or spoken, a lot easier because you'll be very clear what you're doing there.
Yeah.
And then stay open to who you're talking to. Make sure it's a give and take there.
I will wrap it up. Worked a lot on LinkedIn. It's my 90-day. And I think, why didn't I do this sooner? There's so much opportunity there. It's so rich in so many ways. So I've been looking at the kind of profile I want and how to use it. My 90-day goal is a certain number of connections. But to me, what's more important is coming up with a system, a daily system or a weekly system, so that I can do it or someone can help me do it. So it's an ongoing thing. That's the real 90 days. The number is just the result that I can show people. Interestingly, most of my occupational therapists I was going to use, I cross-referenced the Canadian Association of Occupational Therapists, picked the target one, pediatrics that work with autism, went to LinkedIn to cross-reference. Only 10% have been active in the last year. I would have thought it was higher. So that's going to be a challenge. However,
that at least saves you time. Like that saves 90% of your time reaching out to like 90% of people that wouldn't be interested.
So what I thought I would do is test the system. It's the system I'm going to try because 50% are on LinkedIn. They've got a profile. They just haven't used it in the last year or so. So they'll still get notifications from what I understand. But I thought this will be a safer way to test things. And then if nothing happens, the deadline to try how this pediatric psychologists that work with autism groups. So anyway, it was a bit of a surprise. And I have been told that this was pre-COVID, that the occupational therapists are finding other professions are kind of chipping away at their core and that they've become very, circles, what was the saying, circles, where you have a definite group. And I have found that it's been growing. So they might have their own system that they use, that their professional organization. The reason I say that is I was approached about talking to a group of OTs, was thrilled with it, never heard back. I signed up and went through it, and every single speaker, and there's probably 30 of them, was an occupational therapist. And so I think what I had to say was good, but because I wasn't an occupational therapist, but that's an assumption, I don't know. But I've noticed I'm getting tighter. It's been interesting though, because as I've gotten more into it, I've gotten more excited. I can see possibilities. When James and Charlotte were talking about the roadblocks or the mindset, moving forward with the mindset, what I've noticed, because I've become more committed, more sense of urgency, is having to go public in one way or another. There's a connection with being public with what you're going to do and the sense of urgency, because I think going public stopped me from moving ahead, which meant I couldn't have urgency if I'm not willing to go ahead. So I would self-soothe. And so I think that's why I was, after you guys were talking about it, I thought of the 90-day challenge and how they ask you to put a video up on your Facebook page or to announce it to the public, and it's right at the very beginning. And I thought, ooh, smart. You guys know what you're doing, perhaps. I found the last week has been very introspective in many ways. Somebody who I don't really know, but who we were going to spend some time with, was diagnosed with cancer about a month ago. And on Thursday, he went into the hospital. On Friday, he had, my days are getting mixed up, might even be Saturday. I think it was Friday. It seemed so quick, medically assisted suicide, and he was gone. Boom. Like it was just so quick, but it was to prevent the pain. And a cousin of mine passed away in August and had her funeral. And again, it was quick. That definitely was pancreatic cancer. So I feel like time is shortening up. I'm more aware of time. And for me, it's not flipping to, I want to have coffee with people. I want to do that, because I find a lot of times it's small talk and I'm getting less and less patient with it. And so I found I've got more energy to do my business stuff, because that I feel like I'm doing more important things in the world. I feel like I can be more myself. Sometimes with small talk, it's just kind of brain numbing to me. Yeah, but that also has put a sense of urgency in me, not a sense of urgency as in, I'm going to die, I need to do something, but the grace that life is short. I best use it wisely. And for me, it's doing this course. So that had a different impact on me than I would have thought of. I wasn't that close to my cousin. I'm definitely not close with the fellow who died. I'm close with his sister-in-law, and seeing her heart break through this just made me much more aware of time. It was a very interesting, profound week in that it just made me more committed to do things in a different way. So that's me wrapped up. My commitment for next week is just to, by the end of the week, to have my LinkedIn plan done and the profile done and taken to somebody who understands LinkedIn. I don't have that person yet, to make sure that I'm not, because the information, some of it's a year old. And
aren't you doing a LinkedIn course or not? You're just doing it. You're not doing a course?
No.
I thought you were doing a course.
Yeah, me too.
I might have done a freebie thing. Maybe I saw a freebie thing. I'm doing a course on creating a course. I'm doing the course. So it just started yesterday. And it takes people, like some people don't even have a topic. And so it takes them right through. And so marketing is part of it. But I don't think
LinkedIn's in that or not?
You know what? I'm not even sure. I saw them as two separate. That she's about getting my course out there because I have been so slow to do it with some professionalism in the end result. And then the LinkedIn I saw as separate.
Yeah, because you either got to find someone who's done it and get their course, or hire someone to help you do it. That's instead of stumbling along and trying to figure it out when you're in there. That's the faster way for sure.
Yeah, I just started looking at it last week. I really didn't know a whole lot about it, so I'm feeling much more confident that I understand it and can now approach somebody else. And when they speak, I'll actually know what they're saying and have a better concept. And I've had about 3 people say, that's something I meant to do. So once you have this figured out, can you share it? So because of that, I'm much clearer with my steps, with what's important, what's not important, how to do it as a daily, weekly. So that's been helpful too.
Any last words? We're a little bit over time. Anyone?
Kind of speechless on that. Thank you for sharing that. It's true. It's true. Mm-hmm. You know, Diane, the visibility thing was part of my resistance too, with the website, because it's, again, being vulnerable, putting myself out there. I don't know how many people will see it, but on a world stage. Yeah. So that's what's part of the resistance. I mean, one of the elements.
Public speaking or putting yourself out there is like one of the top fears. But then you do Toastmasters. You found that has helped with public speaking and putting yourself out there?
Oh, absolutely. Toastmasters is a fabulous, fabulous organization for so many levels. I joined a few years ago because I realized I actually I knew how to speak, but I didn't know how to. I wanted to get really good at it because I actually had been a main person speaking. I had a couple of gigs like that over the years, and I had no idea. I had no idea what I was doing. And I decided that I wanted to use speaking as one of my marketing tools. So that's why I joined. And it's so much more than I ever expected. The people that are there, what you learn, the practice. And I haven't given a speech now in a year, which is a long time, and you learn leadership. So if anybody, it builds confidence. It's fantastic and connections.
Yeah, they do. Actually, I had joined Toastmasters last year for a very brief period of time here only. And it was online only, but honestly, I think again, it varies from club to club. So the club that I was part of, it was good. I gave my icebreaker speech, and after that, I kind of discontinued. I did not like the people and the kind of, I felt like it was a little commercial. Yeah, it was a bit commercialized, just getting on people in the group. And I felt like the whole educational value was kind of lost over there. So I felt like I was just wasting my time. But actually now that I was thinking of actually reaching out to you, that if it is actually online, if I can join one of the clubs there, it will be more challenging, but I want to work on my confidence in speaking up as well, because that's something even I fear, and I want to deal with that as well. So maybe I'll reach out to you separately on that. I want to take that up seriously, and I want to find a good group to be part of where I can actually improve my speaking skills.
And so you can try different ones, and then you'll get it if it vibes for you. The group that I originally joined, was called Coach Masters. And since I was a coach, I went to check it out. And I had just moved to a new area, and it happened to be up the block from me. And I went, wow, okay, I'll go check this out.
I'll ping you again, and I will try to join in and just experience it once more.
Oh, Diane disappeared.
Okay. Yeah, she had to go.
Oh.
Out of time.
All right.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
Then see you all
Check
next
out my website.